NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing on Fox, presented by GoDaddy.com, is sponsored by Budweiser, the beer that starts with full flavor and ends with a crisp, clean finish. Budweiser, it's what we do.
Stevie Waldrop, Jeff Hammond, and Darrell, one of his 12 victories at Bristol, driving for the legend Junior Johnson, and rolling into victory lane in Thunder Valley.
Watch this, Mike. Stevie's saying, do you know where you are?
Are you dizzy?
Well, and that question might well have been asked of Joey Logano just a minute ago. Fourth place here, Jeff Gordon, Greg Biffle fighting for fourth. Biffle's going to use Robbie Gordon's number 7 as a pick to take the spot. And here's Logano back on track after losing 3 laps with his green flag pit stop.
We had a lot. He had issues. We knew that. And here I think he's got a tire down here. I'm pretty sure. And then gets clipped
by Robbie Gordon trying to get the pit road.
Got to get in. Got to get in. And
that's a commitment cone violation right there.
Oh, by the way, there's a commitment cone.
Oh, by the way, we're under green, and he's pitted on the front stretch, not the back.
Yep.
And that's the one difference. Green versus caution is under green. You pit, you enter and exit on your side. You don't treat it as one pit road from turn 2 to turn 1.
And if it makes him feel any better, and it won't, Jeff Gordon's done that. Mark Martin's done that. As a matter of fact, Mark Martin pulled in before the race was over here a few years ago. So this place, it does scramble your brain.
And the spotter said, I tried to tell you, but you were talking on the radio at the time. So only one person can talk at a time on that kind of system and be able to hear. So
this was about 10 or 12 laps ago. Kurt Busch in lap traffic gets by the 48 car, takes the lead away, uses Robbie Gordon as a pick. I just think the 48 car right now is not good on the long run, and this has been a fairly long run.
And that's shocking, Larry. Think about it. Yesterday, what did he do? He ran more laps than anybody. I think they were anticipating maybe that there'd be long runs today, and they wanted to have their car right, but looks like it falls off after about 40 laps.
Jeff Gordon backing up to Juan Montoya now, who is the 7th place car, going for 6th. Matt?
Mike Gordon is quickly dropping. Reported to Steve Letarte that the car, after that last restart, is really losing the back end grip-wise. Since it's really swinging around, we're going to have to make some big changes when we hit pit road next.
Now, I want to go back to the 20 car situation because
Ruderman in trouble on the backstretch, Larry. Excuse me.
All right, Dick Berggren, I think we're wearing tires out right now. I think that's the problem that's going on possibly.
Not with Ruderman. He has just dropped a cylinder. What a shame. His lap times had been as good, if not better, than the leaders. When he was out in the open, he had gone all the way from 10th to 2nd, and he is headed pit side.
And that's got to tell you, that extra gear that they came here with, in my opinion, is over-revving these engines and blowing them up.
Yeah, that's 10 points, so it's probably well over 300 RPMs.
And if you're running fast lap speeds like we are today, because it's a little cooler overcast, that could be the problem.
Hamlin in the wall off turn 2. That will put out the caution flag as Denny Hamlin got up.
Down the right front, Mike.
There's the answer.
Well, what I just wanted to say is they tightened Joey Logano up. The car was pushing, which is hard on the right front tire. Chris Devoda had told us during the commercial break that they wore the right front tire slam out.
Let's have a look at Hamlin's crash. He comes in from the right side of your screen on the bottom, straight up to the top, into the barrier hard.
Yeah, that's a heavy hit right there. That'll do a lot of damage.
It's caution flag number 3. This is Denny's rear camera.
Inside, we just blew a right front.
Pit road's open, Steve.
Jimmy Johnson's been dropping back Mike Joy. He says his car has been getting a little too snug in the center. That's hurting his exit. They will make a chassis adjustment. Dick.
Kurt Busch pits out of the lead with a race car that is handling so well. No wrenches go in the back window. They have an easy out here. No one is parked in front of Kurt Busch, so he'll never get trapped. Matt.
24 crew guys on the wall waiting for Gordon. An air pressure change called by Steve Letarte. Look, yep. Gas man Chris Hurd making a chassis adjustment to try to tighten up this race car. Krista.
Juan Pablo Montoya saying his car does not aim in the middle. Brian Patty said, do you just want air pressure or an adjustment? They are going to give him a wedge adjustment, and he has a gift with the 66 out and the 20 already stopping. He has smooth sailing out of his pit stall.
Kurt Busch will lead him off pit road. Greg Biffle, Jimmy Johnson, Montoya.
I'm going to tell you who this worked out perfect for is Brad Keselowski. He finally gets to make a pit stop there, and he's in the top 10.
Working the third caution of the day in Bristol, Elliott Sadler will get the free pass after Denny Hamlin pounded the wall in turn number 2. 120 of 500 laps complete. Kurt Busch, your leader. Greg Biffle, Jimmy Johnson, Juan Montoya, and Jeff Gordon.
You know, concrete is good for a lot of things, and they start putting them in the pit boxes here because the gasoline just eats asphalt up, but it can be slick. So what teams were doing was using all kinds of chemicals and substance for grip for the car and for the pit crew members. But NASCAR made a rule a few races ago, you can't put chemicals down. You know, they were putting VHT and everything else. Simple formula, if you'll put it in your body, you can put it on pit road, and we're being told most of this stuff they're putting down is like soft drink syrup that's real tacky and real sticky.
Look at these guys, though. They didn't worry about the car. They just worried about the pit crew being able to get around the car.
You know, I've been saying for a long time, Darrell, when will somebody build a street car that has 300 horsepower and gets 30 miles per gallon? Well, there it is. Ford's new V6 in the 2011 Mustang, 305 horsepower, 31 miles per gallon highway. And this June, a V6 Mustang will attempt to go 1,000 laps around Bristol on a single tank of gas. Guess how many laps the car will make at Mustang1000lapchallenge.com, and you could win a 2011 Mustang V6. Good
Mike, I drove the pace car. I got out and I said, this most horsepower I've felt in a car in a long time. And I just assumed it was a V8. I assumed wrong.
That's a sporty little number right there.
That baby will get it.
Now, our leader, Kurt Busch, in the 2 car on this restart, he's elected to try the bottom lane.
Well, he's been better on the bottom. I think that's one thing.
Busch started second, but how about Greg Biffle in the 16, who has come from 25th on the grid to the lead?
And then he might rethink that next time.
Biffle gets an awfully good run on the high side, and I think Biffle will definitely lead this lap here at Bristol.
Well, the bottom lane has worked well for Kurt all day. It's just that top lane on fresh tires at least has worked better for Jimmy Johnson and now Greg Biffle. Dick?
Kyle Busch won both of the races here in Bristol last year, but he has had an absolutely terrible time this weekend. The car was very slow in practice, and this is the right front that just came off his race car. He has said the car is just the way it was in practice today, that the right front simply has no grip. The rear end is trying to turn the car instead.
You gotta have any kind of, you gotta have any grip with tires like that.
Yellow is out. Raindrops. A lot earlier than expected.
Yeah,
we had hoped that this would hold off till 4 o'clock or so, but there's a little bit of rain falling on the track. Not significant, but just enough so that these slick tires aren't going to get any traction. And there you see a drop or two on the camera lens.
Weather guy said we had a couple of 3 hours here.
Clarify who the weather guy is. It wasn't Larry Mack this time, was it?
No. Rick, the weather guy. Dadgum.
You know, there's some light colored sky and a little blue off to the horizon in at least one direction. So see if we can get this back underway pretty quickly. 4th caution of the day for a little bit of rain here in Bristol. We're at a quarter of the way home.